Which WCA record is the easiest to break? Welcome to Tebow's 2 a.m. random thoughts, and if you've ever wanted to break a WCA record, this video might just help you out. So my first thought when I asked myself this question was, which world record is the easiest to break? And since world record singles are notoriously based on luck, I just looked at the average world records. So I got nearly 1 million data points of every cuber in the WCA's average PRs, and calculated the PR average of the average cuber. So for example, of all the cubers who have competed in 2x2, their average PR time is 10.83. And I did this for like 10 events, 10 or 11 events, and compared that to the world record average time to see which event would be the easiest to break the average world record in for the average cuber. So if you see here, the Megaminx world record average is 26.84 seconds, and for the average cuber who's competed in Megaminx, their PR average is around 2 minutes. That's very far apart, and since those two numbers are so far apart, you can safely say that that is not the easiest world record to break. But if I had to pick one that comes kind of close, it would be either Scube or Pyraminx. Obviously, if you get a 1 or 2 second average in Pyraminx or Scube, that's like really impressive, but considering the fact that the average cuber does it in 15 seconds, which is just a few seconds faster than 1 second, as opposed to the 7x7 averages, which are several minutes apart, I think it's safe to say that the Pyraminx and Scube average world records are kind of easier to break than the 7x7 one. And I could kind of vouch for that myself, since Pyraminx and Scube are the events at which I am the most highly ranked in the WCA, at least last time I checked. I'm gonna have to check that again. But I know what you might be thinking. Well, isn't a national record a lot easier to break than a world record? Just by the very definition, a national record covers a smaller subset of the population, so national records must be easier to break than the world record? Well, yes, but all national records aren't created equally. For example, if we're still looking at averages, then China's national record for 3x3 is 4.48, which is much more impressive than, let's say, Liechtenstein's national record of 12.94. Some national records are just slower than others because they have a lower number of cubers that compete, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see that the slowest national record for 3x3 is the African country of Somalia at 1 minute and 14 seconds. You could do the same thing for 2x2, scroll all the way and see that the lowest national record, therefore the easiest to beat, is 50.72 from Somalia. The easiest to break national record for 4x4 average is 2 minutes and 44 seconds from the country of Congo. But if you're not from those countries yourself, there's no chance of you even breaking the national record. Well, according to the WCA regulations, competitors must represent a region of which they hold citizenship. So basically, if you wanted to, you could acquire the citizenship of a country that has a very slow national record, and then if you're faster than like 1 minute at 3x3, you could just beat that national record. But that's where another problem comes in. Citizenship is very hard to acquire. I took the countries for which the national records at 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, Pyraminx, and Scube were the slowest, which were Somalia, Congo, Madagascar, and Oman, and did some research into how long it would take to acquire citizenship just for this master plan so you could just break a national record at solving the Rubik's Cube. For Somalia, you need to live in the country for 7 years in order to even think about becoming a citizen. Same for Congo, not to be confused with the Democratic Republic of Congo, just the Republic of Congo, 2 different countries. I learned that while making this video. For Oman, it's actually 20 years according to what I looked at, and for Madagascar, it was a lot less clear. I was unable to find a definite answer, but it doesn't seem like there's much of a requirement for how long you have to stay in there, as long as you are of good character, according to this Quora post I just found. But going through a years-long process of moving to a different country, adapting to the location and culture, and getting citizenship just to break a national record kind of goes against the question we're asking, which is what is the easiest one to break? Because once you spend 7 years living in a new country, that no longer counts as an easy plan. So what can you do to ensure your chances of getting some kind of record? Well, you can kind of predict what cubes you think are most likely to get into the WCA next, practice those so that once it gets added to the WCA, you have a head start advantage. I know some people who were doing this with Killaminx a few years ago, when people thought that Killaminx might get added to the WCA, or you could just rely on luck, like 2x2 single, hope you get a 4-move scramble, solve it really quickly, just practice your finger tricks and nothing else, and hopefully get it sub 0.4. but you can't ensure you'll get a record if you're not already as fast as you could be. Click here for a video where I show you how to get faster at 3x3.